So the sales game had become something that we needed to create virtually. And I think it's incredible what happens, and we're seeing this in the world right now. It is incredible what happens to a human being when their back is up against the wall.
Massive.
The best creativity comes out because you need to come up with something on the spot. And this is what we're learning about human beings, especially through even playing the game, through watching business, through watching life, is human beings are extraordinarily creative. And sometimes we don't know what we're capable of until we're put in the
100%.
situation where we have to adapt. We have to cope. We have to evolve. And when that happens, when that evolution happens, because someone's back's been up against the wall, usually what they come up with is quite flooring. It's like, whoa, that's way better than what we would have created if this never happened, if we never had to.
100%.
If COVID didn't happen, we would not be running the sales game virtual, which is 10 times better than the offline edition. You know, so that, you know.
So I remember that call.
Yes, the Zoom call we had.
COVID's hit. New Zealand's canned. Chicago's cancelled.
Yep.
And I remember the call. We jumped on the Zoom call. Probably more so of just like, what the heck are we going to do now? Like, you know, 2020 plans were sweet, going to go so well, best year ever, to like, calendar's empty. Like, you're not flying anywhere. You're not traveling.
Yeah.
I remember the conversation kind of started still along similar lines. I remember it kind of was like, yeah, I don't know how we can run this virtually. I don't know. I don't think it's possible. But then I remember you just said, you're just like, yeah, but why? And that just like clicked something in my head, and it got me to think about a better question to ask. Instead of saying like, this is impossible, it can't be done, as opposed to asking the question, how can we do this?
Yeah. How could it be done?
How could it be done?
Yeah.
And again, my brain started going, and I was visualizing Excel dashboards and all sorts of stuff, and going, hang on a sec, we could replicate tax in that way.
And it was, man, it was your time to shine. Like, for every question that I asked, I think sitting back and watching your strategic brain flood to the surface and start, you could see it, like your mind was creating Excel doc sheets and all of this in your mind, but seeing the platforms and programs that you were able to create from just that one initial conversation. I think when we connected again at 24 hours later, you were like, dude, I got something to show you. You're going to love it. And it was a fully created Excel spreadsheet, which would then eventually go on when we ran the virtual sales game, would eventually go on to become your nemesis, because you were the only one that could run the doc sheet and like numbers flying everywhere from people.
It was full on.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing, you know. So I think mine was kind of tweaking, and I was like, okay, well, we can do tax, we can do bank, we can create a virtual currency.
Yeah, we don't have to use the chips.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We can run video conferencing. And I was like, all right, if we can build an engine to run the thing, we can do it. So, like classic Steve and Darcy fashion, we put on an event. Sales Game Virtual Edition before we had
is a thing now.
Built it. Funnily, when we reflect on that, that's happened all the events. We start with an idea, then we back ourselves. We put on an event, we get people into it, then we create. But we ran the first ever Sales Game Virtual with an Excel dashboard and Zoom. And we had 24 players from 4 different countries and 5 or 6 different time zones.
It was a Canadian and an American.
Yeah, played all night.
Played all through the night.
Because they really wanted to get their hands on the game. And we were running the Excel dashboard behind the scenes. We were logging transactions. We were going nuts, setting up breakout rooms, all that sort of stuff. But again, in such a raw... It actually kind of reminded me of the very first Sales Game event, where it felt like lots of things weren't super polished, but it worked.
Yeah.
But again,
the players wouldn't have known.
But that's the thing. Yeah. The players at the end still said the same thing. This is the best game ever. This is amazing. This is life-changing. And that was super exciting to see that all come about. Like something going from, I think it's impossible, to then have it as wow, this was amazing. This was a great experience.
Yes.
When you're saying one of the most proud things, I'd agree. I think
Yeah.
that was one of the most proud moments of like, man, this is something.
This is something. And it was that experience that let us know, well, okay, the Excel dashboard worked, but it required us to run it manually. And then we got in touch with Frank Fava, who played the game, the virtual edition, loved it. He had a ball, and he's a website developer and app developer. He's working over in Sweden now, but we said, Frank, could you help us build an app out of
Get
this?
this. You haven't heard this story.
Okay.
Right? So here's the coolest part about the Frank story. So Frank's ticket was actually gifted to Frank. He came in last minute the night before because one of the players,
That's right.
his mum was unwell.
Yes.
So he said, just share my ticket with someone else that would love it.
Yes.
I can't make this one. I'd love to do the next. So Frank jumped in last minute. But here's the thing. During the Shark Tank, Frank pitched me the idea of, I think we could build
an app
for this. So he came up with the app within the sales game.
It's a bit meta, isn't it?
Pitched through the Shark Tank for me to give him chips. It was great. Like,
It
was really, really interesting. But that was a complete game changer.
Yes, the app that's been created is essentially now the platform through which the whole game is played. And as we're shooting this right now, that brings us up to today. That brings us up to where the sales game currently is. It's a fully created virtual experience. That includes each of the 4 principles. It includes all of the unlocks, and it's all and all the learning is still the same. It's all experiential. In fact, it's more relevant to the modern world we live in now, because if you can't sell virtually, you can't sell at all anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
most of your sales conversations are going to have a virtual aspect.
And so, the sales game virtual and what it's become, and the app that it's played through and the platform that it exists on now, compared to where we were when we said, man, we're running good businesses, everything's fine, but something needs to change. If you could compare those two worlds now to where it's sitting, it's just been an extraordinary journey, not just for us, but for everyone who's played it and everyone who's experienced it, and those who are watching this that have experienced it, they know what we're talking about. Like it's something to behold. But I feel like we're just at the start, really. The start of the whole journey, like where it's at now is...
We're just about to share it to the entire world. It's pretty exciting. We invented the social media feed.
Yes, yep, to put that into the thing.
Put that into the virtual game.
That's the thing is like...
We discovered our way better platform for virtual conferencing with the top-down map and the ability to move into different rooms and see... we really have created an entire simulated world for people to explore. Oh, the other thing was prize money.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the thing. For the first sales game virtual, because we were literally not sure if it was going to work.
Yep.
We put all of the tickets sold into a prize pool for the winner to take home the prize money.
Yes.
And again, we realized that was another unlock. That was another mechanic of the game.
People need a reward to move towards.
And people were also faced with the idea of, how do they define winning? What is winning to them?
Is it in the money?
Is it
in building connections?
Is it that I want to be on the leaderboard and I want to hit the gold medal and take home the prize money? Or is it something else? Is it the network? Is it the learning experience? Is it the self-discovery? And again, it was just light bulb after light bulb after light bulb of people realizing. Yeah. It was a time compression. That's what I think it really is. I think it's a time compression.
It takes 20 years of learning and knocks it right down to 24 hours of learning. Yeah. And then on beyond as well. But as I said, man, I think that the future of it is super bright, is not going to be without its challenges from a business perspective, challenges from a tech perspective. I think we're both learning a lot about that world.
It's been a lot of fun.
But overall, man, if the minimum standard is the experience people had back when it was just an Excel spreadsheet, compared to now, the challenges that we face moving ahead are probably going to be pretty high quality challenges. So I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped for the people, for the future players, for those who haven't played it yet. They're going to get their opportunity, which is awesome. Again, something
anywhere
I'm sure
in the world
we're both humbled by, for the opportunity to actually play our part in creating.